Ratchet and Clank.
It is curious that the sudden cessation of velocity did not cause either of you to...
Two of the most well-known PlayStation mascots ever. Since 2002, they had countless games with lots of, well, interesting titles. One of the 3 PS Plus games from March 2018 is the Ps4 remake of their first game, with an awesome graphical update and reimagining of the story. But is it still fun to play, and more important, is it worth the trophy? Ratchet and Clank is a hybrid of an action platformer crossed with a third-person shooter, with lots of over-the-top humor.
I've died and gone to nerd heaven. Look at this. They have my blaster runs hot. Fungoid with a stick. Oh, Spiro the Space Moose.
And some slight RPG mechanics in collecting experience for more HP and upgrading your weapons. And I mean over-the-top humor. There are guns in this game which transforms the enemies into sheeps, or a disco ball that forces everything in the area to dance. It takes place in a futuristic setting and follows the adventures of a Lombax named Ratchet and a robot named Clank. The gameplay is relatively simple. Choose a planet, kill enemies, solve puzzles and find hidden secrets and gadgets. You will need those to access other parts of other planets. This game is a reimagining of the PS2 classic and tells the story how the two met in the first place and their adventures as galactic rangers after they saved the city from an attack. While most of the time you play as Ratchet, there are parts where you play as Clank. During these, the game shifts its focus more to puzzles and escape sequences. Overall, the gameplay is awesome and it even improved on the original. But let's talk about the trophies. There is no trophy in the game for the difficulty, so you can play in the setting you want. However, after you beat the game for the first time, you unlock Challenge Mode. It is this game's New Game Plus, where you take everything you earned and start the story again. There are trophies exclusive to Challenge Mode, so it's one of those games. You know, one you have to beat multiple times for the platinum. You have to finish it at least 2 times, but there are things which may make a third playthrough necessary. Personally, I like my platinums more if you can get them in one playthrough. Having to beat the game multiple times adds to the playtime. You will most likely need around 25 hours to get the platinum trophy. And you need to keep some things in mind if you are going for the platinum, or the time may even be longer. Most important, this! This is the worst trophy in the game. You need to use the disco ball weapon on every type of enemy in the game. The problem is, most enemies are just spawning during the story missions, and not while you are exploring the planets for the secrets. And once gone, that's it. The enemy is gone and you missed it. You don't even start with the weapon, so you can't just use it in every encounter to be sure you got everything. And just because enemies look like ones you already made dance, doesn't mean they are the same enemy. Big Brain Octopus on the lava planet, it is a totally different enemy than the Big Brain Octopus on the water level. And if you missed it, well, sucks to be you. This trophy is a fuck you from the developers. All you can do is, after you got the weapon, use it on everything from this point on. And after you are in the challenge mode, where you have the weapon at the start of the game, use it in every fight. At least the enemies you already made dance are carried over in New Game Plus. Even if the game doesn't tell you which ones you already hit. Yeah, there is not even a checklist. You could miss a single small one-time enemy and will never know. Well, now that this is out of the way, for beating the game for the first time, you automatically earn 14 bronze and 1 gold trophy, as well as unlocking challenge mode. Beat challenge mode and you get another silver trophy. Yeah, the normal game gives a gold and New Game Plus a silver? That's lame. Well, on to the collectibles. The collectibles in this game are actually kind of fun. Not only because you can backtrack to every location so you cannot miss anything, but also because the level select shows if there is still a secret. Later in the game you find a gadget which even shows every secret on the map. You even start New Game Plus with it after you found it in the first playthrough. Speaking of the gadgets, if you get all of them, you earn a silver trophy tag head. Most are required for the story, and the few that aren't are also marked with side quests on the planet select screen. There are 28 golden balls hidden in the game, and they reward you with cheat codes, different costumes and more for collecting them. Find all and you will earn Ultimate Explorer, as well as a neat little secret for fans of the series in New Game Plus. Collecting every weapon in the game is worth a silver trophy. Through combat and hidden in the stages are card packs and raritanium crystals. You need raritanium to upgrade your weapons. And you need lots of it. After you have fully upgraded every weapon, you hear this sound. This is only possible in New Game Plus. And the card sets are a nice addition to this reimagining. You collect cards with neat little details about different things from all the games. And for every set of free cards you finish, you earn a special bonus. Like you gain more items or you can buy a better version of a gun in New Game Plus. Collect all cards and you earn Super Trader. There are 33 sets holding 3 cards each and 9 special cards, which unlock the best weapon in the game. You can even upgrade some weapons to increase the drop rates of cards. And the game gives the option to exchange duplicate cards against ones you haven't found yet. There is even a trophy for doing this, but wait until you have a huge collection and you only need a few more in the end. It makes completing it so much easier. Oh, and for the first time you finish a 3 card set, you earn another trophy. That's about it for the collectibles. There is a side quest on a planet where you have to collect 60 brains for a trophy and a special gadget, but that's it. So let's go to the special trophies. I already covered the worst one. Hit absolutely everything with the disco ball and you should earn this trophy in New Game Plus. Besides the collectibles, there are trophies for reaching max health and leveling up all weapons to max level. You gain experience for both by fighting enemies, but the maximum is only available in challenge mode. And I found an amazing way to level up the weapons. In the first boss fight, unload on the boss and jump into the lava. The fight and the ammo resets, but you keep the experience. Before this, just farm at the sand sharks for bowls, cards and raritanium to upgrade all the weapons, so you just need to gain experience. Challenge mode introduces a multiplier. The more enemies you kill without taking damage, the higher the multiplier. At the end, each bolt you collect is worth 20 and you unlock a bronze trophy by doing this. And now, on to the strange trophies. In Aliro City, there are 17 streetlights. Break every single one for the trophy I Hate Lamp. At the end of the level, you see a huge obstacle course. Beat it in under 1 minute and 10 seconds for a silver trophy. This is one of 3 timed trophies in the game. The other 2 are later in the game where you have to participate in hoverboard races. Win both gold cups for this trophy. And if you manage to win the gold cups on the first track in under 1 minute 35 and the second track in under 2:05, you earn 2 more silver trophies. The second race is no problem, there are shortcuts and the time is generous. The first race, however, is hard. There is not much space for errors and you have to do constant tricks and cut corners to make it in time. I had multiple tries with a few milliseconds over it and I needed way too many tries. Put the game speed at slow after you found enough gold balls and it will be easier, but it is still the technically hardest trophy in the game. Early on you will find the Trespasser item, which will make it possible to open locked doors by solving a puzzle. Solve all the puzzles without making the game solve them for you, and this trophy is yours. There are 16 of these puzzles in the game and most are necessary for the story. On Iridia, the planet with the sand sharks, are flamethrower enemies on conveyors. Push them into the quicksand below with melee attacks and they will experience that sinking feeling. On Qua 2 is a part where you play as Clank. You come across a crusher in a puzzle. Throw 5 robots under it and crush them for this. After you switch back to Ratchet again, you can explore the facility, destroy 10 inactive robots here. On Wilga are a lot of slime enemies fighting against other NPCs. Just allow them to kill the slimes. But most likely you will get this trophy without you doing anything. I just played the level and it made ping after an announcer said the city will release the bots. So nothing really to do here. On the lava planet where you have to collect all the brains, just kill 40 enemies while flying with the jetpack. I missed this in my first playthrough because I landed before fighting. Just shoot while hovering and you're good. On a tropical resort looking planet, just jump in the water and get killed by a shark. It is a one-hit kill and a really easy trophy. On the planet Calibo, there are 2 trophies. First is the trophy when sheeps fly. You can purchase the Sheepinator weapon in this level, and you have to use it on one of the very few helicopter enemies. After you transformed him into a sheep, the trophy will pop. But remember to make him dance before you transform him. After you have cleared the whole level of enemies, go back. You will see conveyor belts through the level. 3 at the start and 1 relatively at the end. Jump on them and don't move. They will very slowly move you forward until you reach the end of them. Just ride all 4 of them without moving and you are a lazy Lombax. So, only 2 more trophies left, both in the last level. You will see an office with models of different planets. Destroy all of them for this trophy. And for the last trophy, you have to find a special locked door and stand in front of it in disguise. So, that was everything. Most trophies, like leveling up your HP or weapons, are only possible in New Game Plus. It has one rather hard time trial and one of the most infuriating trophies I have ever seen. It is a great game, and obviously, if you don't know Ratchet and Clank, play it. But is it worth the trophy? Well, I have to say, no. It is an awesome update of the great series, but not all of the time spent getting the trophy is really worth it. There is a bit of grinding, but mostly it is not worth it because of this. It is just not fun having to play the game again because one single trophy won't unlock. It being a bronze trophy just is more insulting. It is not even working as intended. I got my trophy after I made an enemy dance. I made dance countless of times to farm bolts. It is not hard without the exception of the one ways, but it is not really worth to go for the platinum. If you have PS Plus, sure, go for it. But expect rage from the dancing. Overall, it's not hard. The difficulty of this is a 4 out of 10, and only because of the one ways. However, you should definitely play it. It is an awesome reimagining and even after so many years, still a great game. Hey, thanks for watching. If you are looking for a platinum that is really worth it, why not watch my Wine review? You can get 5 gold and the platinum in 8 hours and enjoy a beautiful game. For more videos, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment.